this?
Welcome to the Killer Comic Show.
Welcome to the Killer Comic Show.
Happy Thursday.
That was a drink and a half. We've only just started.
It is.
Oh no! Lock up, everybody. Charlie's on the Stella.
I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm with my mate again talking about comics. I'm also excited that Tom's on his stag do. He's been kidnapped. He was told by his dad last week not to come on the show because
nothing to do with his stag do. His dad just said, "Look, stop going on the show.
Stop going on the show. Just don't associate yourself with these people." But his dad turned around and said, "Look, if you can have a week off the show, it'd be great. We've got something planned for your stag do." So Tom is, I don't know where Tom is. I think he's gone dark. He's not going to be on his phone or anything. We won't hear from him for a couple of days. We wish him well. He's going to have a good time. So yeah, you've just got the gruesome twosome for tonight. It's going to be a good show though, mate. We've got loads lined up. We've got comic reviews, we've got killer keys, killer indie picks, killer trades, and we've also got two of our mates joining us for another section. It's going to be exciting. That's going to be around 10 o'clock.
10. We can probably drag it out a little bit. Apparently, James wants to watch something on the TV, so he's not going to be available till 10. So we'll drag it out if we have to.
Well, there's a few people watching the finale of Peacemaker, so enjoy that. That was good. I kind of watched that about 2 or 3 months ago. So yeah, enjoy that. Let me know what you think of it. But the chat's buzzing as always. It always is. We got Fuzzy here, who was here. He got here at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Well done. I think he's been busy slipping digits and stuff like that. So welcome back, sir. We have Mystery Nights, Brown and Frank. Evening. Good evening. We've got ABZ Comics. Yo. Happy face. We've got YouTube's favourite Heisenberg. It's Leon Russell. Evening Comic Connoisseurs. I like that.
Connoisseurs? Wow.
Connoisseurs.
Listen, I've been called a lot of things on YouTube.
I've never been called that. We've got Mr. Chris Bell, belly big screen back. There we go, sir. Thank you very much. Who else have we got? We've got, he's on a hunt again, but what is he finding this week? It's the one and only GP Venom Comics and Collectibles. We've got everyone's favourite nerdiverse. It's Philip. Great show last night, Phil. I love that book. I love Pretty Violent. I think it's a great book, and we'll be touching on that a bit later as well. We have everyone's favourite half pint superhero. It's Panels in a Half Pint. Evening, Sean. Thanks for joining, mate. Connie is on a flight. She's going somewhere. I don't know where she's going, but she's literally just jumped on to say, just stopping by quickly while I wait to take off, and give a thumbs up.
Awesome.
The support is amazing. Thank you.
Safe
very
travels.
much. We've got Mr. Canadian. Hey, yo. That's a new one. Thank you very much for dropping in. And we have Tim Hobgoblins Hardaway sitting pretty, watching his 9.6 comics go up and up and up and up, because the news has just broken. Nova is finally going to make his way into the MCU. So if you do have Nova, issue number 1, either sell it, keep hold of it, do what you got to do, because it's going to be good.
And if you don't have issue number 1, make sure you get issue number 2 and issue number 3, which are the introduction of 2 of the main villains, which we will definitely see on the big screen. So there's your spec for this week. You're welcome.
There we go. That's it. There it is. The Oracle was spoken again. And we've got the sexiest man on YouTube. It is Mr. Mark Oldwood. Evening, killers. Evening, sir. Thank you very much. And Connie has just said she's going home. She's fed up with England. I'm joking, but I am going home for the weekend. Nice. You should have stopped by. And I can't believe how late he is. Or is he early? It's the one and only Wakazashi's Tea House. Are you Genki, sir? We know you are. Thank you for stopping by as usual. So we've got a packed show for you tonight. We have, and as always, let's just jump into it. We've highlighted the chat. You guys are absolutely fantastic. It's just the two of us this week, but we might as well just get straight into it as we always do. So up first is the killer covers for March 16th. Now, they were good covers. We picked some good covers, haven't we? We have.
Was it for March 16th or was it for this week?
It is. Oh right, yeah. So it's for March 24th. Yeah, okay, right.
I shouldn't have said anything.
You shouldn't
But
have
we've
said
just started and we've made a bit. Oh god! Damn.
I'm so excited. I was that excited. I forgot to change this slide, so I do apologise. So it is for week number 12, which is March the 24th. Exclude the slide. Right. So up first, it's me. It had to be the one and only Harley Quinn. Massive Harley Quinn fan. As soon as I see this, I was like, right, I'm snapping that up. It is Harley Quinn issue number 13. Fantastic. Adam Hughes variant B. Now, this is obviously a homage to, what comic is it homage to, Andy? It's a pretty famous one.
I don't know. It's not my comic, so you should have done your
It's the
research for this,
It's the Catwoman one where she's battered and bruised and she's got her sign up. But yeah, I'll see this straight away, and I was like, this has to be the one I'm going for, and it's a card stock as well. So I'm all over that.
Which makes a huge amount of difference because, not to go on a tangent, but did anybody get any Marvel comics this week? The paper quality was atrocious. It is the worst I've experienced, and I know a lot of people suffered from poor quality comics. But did we not have a little bit of a like we both wanted to go for this comic this week?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I was going to do something cheeky and just go like for the trade price of this and make it really difficult for people to choose. But this is fantastic. What about the subtle use of boobless on the numbers? You know, when you were younger, you used to put it into a calculator and turn the calculator upside and go.
That's kind of what got to it. Like, it is. I just love the whole play and things and everything, and it is great. And as you talk about Marvel comics, I got the Punisher last week's one, and the quality, the paper of that is rubbish. I got it from Galactic Comics, and they're really high quality. Like, always good, always come back on board and stuff, and the quality is always good. But all the spine was torn. There was a hole in it, and it was rubbish. It was really.
And it's not the retailers' faults. That this is completely down to Marvel. So you know, if you do get comics that are sent to you by retailers, just cut them a little bit of slack because it isn't their fault at the end of the day. So.
But yeah, so we've got that's my comic this week.
Did you miss the 69? You missed this. I can't believe you never commented on the 69. Look at the height. Come on.
Didn't see it. Sorry.
I'll sell your comic, Charlie.
I can see where your mind's at, Andy. I can see where your mind's at.
Do you know what?
Anyway, after you've sold my comic, you can have your one now.
Listen, guys, we've had Harley Quinn, okay? And, you know, Charlie's been really successful over the last few weeks of winning this. Now, I'm sure this is to do with his multiple YouTube accounts, all his kids' accounts.
There's only 15 of them. Right?
Listen, hey, and his wife has about 5 accounts as well. So they're all on their laptops and stuff. I know that. But this is Detective Comics issue 1058. This is a Lee Bermejo. That's how I pronounce it. Lee to his friends. This also is a cardstock variant, but this is phenomenal. This cover. Not only is it, you know, you can just purchase it. You don't. It's not one of those shop exclusives like Charlie's picked, where you have to remortgage your house to buy it. You can just go into your local comic shop, pick this up, pick 2 copies up if you want, one for you and a friend. And you know, this is spectacular. Look at the detail. You could listen, guys. Everybody that's watching, if you're watching with your phone, your laptop, your iPad, bring the monitor close to you. Can you smell the leather? Smell it. I can as well. Listen, guys, this is going to be comic of the week. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Andy, I've got to say, right, Lee Bermejo is killing it at the moment. Like, literally, the detective comics that he's put out are absolutely smashing it. Like, there was one on Standing Above Gotham on a gargoyle. There's a few that he's done, and they're really good, like really good. And this one just ties into the whole new era of Batman and stuff like that.
Listen, I never thought I would have to try and sell a comic by asking people to sniff their screens on this show. And I think I just went to new depths. So take that on board, everybody, and vote for my book.
And there we go. Just so we can leave it on the screen a bit longer, we'll go through some of the comments. So we've got Mr. Canadian said, I grabbed issue number 1 of Carnage miniseries plus every variant minus like one. I grabbed all good ones. Anyway, the 1 in 25, etc. Awesome covers that book has.
Nice.
GP Venom is obviously talking about my cover.
Mm.
And there we go. ABZ, yeah, the Catwoman 51 Hughes homage. There we go. Tim has said perfect timing for an Adam Hughes signing at Portsmouth Comic Con. I'm off to Portsmouth tomorrow. It's a shame the Comic Con isn't on then. ABZ, I have the trade dress and Virgin variants of that on pre-order. Of course you do. Looks like Goldie Hawn. She does a bit. I like Goldie Hawn. Pretty tasty. Mr. Canadian again, got to be honest, I think the comic industry doesn't care as much anymore. Though the boxes aren't cut right, the new prints for books are always low grade, spy and phrase, etc. right off the rack. Shame. That's obviously off the back of your Marvel.
Yeah.
I've got a whole total thing. I tend not to buy Marvel comics now because that the whole thing about that Venom 3D cover, that kind of just it could have been so
Can you
much
imagine
better, but it's
buying a
nasty.
Marvel cover or a Marvel book from Forbidden Planet? What a double whammy that would be.
It's literally not even worth it. Also, Grab the Detective, y'all should have seen the Dead Robin and Batman cover. I think was like the issue before that one on the screen. We've got Comics versus the World. Evening. And there we go. Look, I like this comment. There's no way that forehead cover is beating Harley in the votes, no matter how hard you try to sell it, Andy.
We used to be friends.
Fuzzy. I'm not sold on this, to be fair. And we've got some laughs, and then we've got Mystery Knights. Brown Frank, love the Batman cover. So
See,
there we go.
No, wait, you saying thanks, Mystery Knights. Thanks.
Matt, so you got a fan there, and there we go. Boom Studios book quality is exceptional. It really is. It really, really is. And there we go. Marvel Comics using tracing paper for their comics. It's cheap, isn't it? Inflation. They've got to stick to what they know. And we've got Tom, who's not here. He's gone for Venom. Why has he gone for a leather? He's gone for a leather protector issue number 1. It's lethal protector issue number 1.
I think that was literally the Virgin variant.
Yeah. And it's a Tyler Kirkham variant cover. I love Tyler Kirkham. I've got a few variants covers that he's done behind me, and he does do some fantastic work. It's just, I really like it, and I like the fact that it's on a white background and it looks really great, but it's just another Venom comic. Do we need another Venom comic at the moment? That's the thing.
I do really like this. There's lots to this particular cover, and it reminds me a little bit. I don't know if you remember the tattoo covers that came out.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if that was Tyler Kirkham that did those covers, but yeah, I know that Tom's a huge Venom fan, so I can understand why he's picked this one. But yeah, does it beat the two that we've seen? Only the chat can decide.
And while we say that, I am going to be putting in the poll now. So it's Harley Quinn, there's Batman, and then we have, who else have we got? We've got Venom. So if you want to place your votes now, we can crack on and we can get that done. But I mean, they are 3 fantastic covers, and there are a load of Venom Lethal Protector issue number 1 covers out this week. There's so many. And again, it's overinflation of the market of a comic. Like, I think there's like 16 to 25 store variant covers and everything like that. But I think this would be one of the best ones. There's one that's by David Nakayama where there's Venom sitting there with his like little bib round and he's having breakfast and Spider-Man serving it to him. But I think this is the best of the bunch that they've got out there.
Yeah, I like it. It'll be a hard 9-8 as well because of that cover. So.
Yeah. So there we go. The votes are up. So get your votes in, guys. And there we go. What have we got? Charlie's won again. Easy walkover. Sorry, Andy. We've got Batman could have used some of that leather protector on his mask. Matthew said, nice, cool white makes it pop, but industry gone crazy over Venom. I like this, and I like Tyler Kirkham, but this one is weaker. This is one of his weaker ones in comparison. I think Harley 13 is potentially going to be a first appearance of Verdicts. You are correct. Yes, Tom mentioned that last week on his keys. Yet to read any of the issues with the cameos. It's a great read. If you can get past the initial change of the artwork from Amanda Connor and stuff, you'll get into it, and it is a really, really good story. So, with that said, moving on. We have week 11. Moving on, we've got week 11 reviews, which was obviously the comics we picked from last week. We've got Tom's pick, which is Image. Slumber issue number 1. We've got another Image comic, which was Rain issue number 3 by yourself, Andy, and then I went with Mr. Horror himself, Mr. Ram V, with the reincarnation of Carnage issue number 1. Up first, it's you, sir.
Me, yes, I went for Rain issue number 3. This is by Joe Hill and David M. Booher, and the art is by the fantastic Killer Comics favorite Zoe Thorogood.
Mhm.
So we've reviewed issue 1 and 2, and I think it's fair to say that we thoroughly enjoyed both those issues. And for me, it was a no-brainer that we were going to pick this book. So we've got a few cracking covers here. We've got the main cover, which is by Zoe Thorogood, and for me is my favourite cover. I love it. Cover B is by Elizabeth Beals, which has young Templeton on the cover, which is pretty cool. We've got Tess Fowler in the 1 in 25 variant, and then we have the 1 in 50 black and white sketch variant by Zoe Thorogood. We're still keeping that theme with Zoe's covers, where it could be a connecting cover with the one big. I can't wait to see the other two covers. What can I say, guys? I highly anticipated. I really was looking forward to this one. We've got Honeysuckle. We've got her with her new traveling companion, Mark, who is the ex-UFC fighter. But when they're on their travels to Denver, they find that they've actually got an unexpected visitor in the form of young Templeton. So Templeton is a little guy with the umbrella, and they look round and see that he's actually started following them both. And obviously that's the last thing that Honeysuckle wants, because they don't want him to be put into danger. Plus, I believe he's got some condition that he can't be out in the sun for too long and stuff like that as well. So that's kind of where the stress and anxiety of this issue comes at the start. And you can see these are the 2 pages that I've picked, which for, a lot of this book centers around emotions, and it centers about how we as humans deal with grief. And I think this page on the left kind of summed it up quite beautifully, where she's effectively kneeling down, giving Templeton a hug, and talking about loss, because he's obviously lost someone, and so has Honeysuckle. And I just love the fact that this was pure a black and white. There was no color here. The focus was just on the silhouette of these two. Was that a page that you liked as well, Charlie? Did you spot that one?
Do you know what? I love the simplicity of this comic. Like, overall, you kind of, when it was first, like when the synopsis first came out of it, Rain, you're kind of like, really? But then when you kind of look at the writers and the artists, you kind of think there's ulterior motives behind it. This ain't just going to be plain sailing. It's going to be, there's going to be some emotion in it. You're going to be taken on the journey, and then you're probably going to be wrenched totally out of left field, and then you're going to get dragged into something else. The relationship that, what's her name? I can't remember her name.
Honeysuckle. Yeah.
The relationship that Honeysuckle's got with Templeton is so endearing. It's kind of like the family, the little brother that she never had.
Yeah.
And she's so protective of him. And there was a really poignant part in this, and you've picked the 2 pages. Obviously, with the black and white, the simplicity of that, it's all about the narrative and the outline silhouette of the characters. But then on the next page, it's like, you don't need this umbrella.
Yeah.
And you've said this umbrella is going to play a massive part in this comic. Now, has that totally flipped the ball on its head now, because it's clear that the umbrella is not needed?
Yeah, it almost feels as if the umbrella signifies like just throwing away your kind of emotions and just keep going on this journey, because obviously Honeysuckle wants to go to Denver to meet, or who would have been her future father-in-law, to let him know that his wife has passed, and so is his daughter. So I feel it was like a symbol of him throwing away the umbrella. Maybe I was looking into it a little bit too deeply, which sometimes I do. But no, I agree. I think the simplicity of this page is absolutely fantastic. And then it was juxtaposed next to this other page where this gives you an idea of actually, we've not really seen the main effect that this rain is having on the world. And I think it kind of sums it up in this page, where it's just absolute devastation. Like, you could forgive this for being a war zone effectively. I think for me, this issue, it continued to be entertaining. It was engaging. It was more of a slow burn, this issue. It definitely wasn't as fast paced, and it didn't give me as much as the first 2 issues did. But it definitely it sort of focused more on the feelings and the humanity, how humanity has changed as a result of this rain. And it kind of it looked at the dangers of the rain itself, but it also looked at how it was changing the people who's actually survived. So not only is Honeysuckle changing, Templeton's changing, because he's got more confidence now. He's like sort of thrown away that umbrella, and he's like, let's go. But then there's a kind of a twist at the end where she gets attacked, by one of the the guys that we saw, I think, in issue 1 or 2. And it kind of turns it on its head, and she the sort of final page is her going on this truck with this guy, and you just don't know what's going to happen, but you've always got that look in her face where is Honeysuckle as nice as we potentially think that they are? I don't know. What did you think?
I've got to agree with you, because there's always that glint in her eye that she could turn on a dime. Do you know what I mean? If you push, it only takes so much for someone to flip, and I think she's been through quite a lot. And I think the end page where you see the position and the situation that she's in, I think issue number 4 is going to be quite telling, and I think we'll see a poignant moment where we see a different side to Honeysuckle that we wouldn't expect, because from issues 1 to 3 where we are now, she's been quite fragile. We've seen what she's been through. She's been quite fragile. She's been quite low key. She's been quite inside herself, dealing with the emotions of losing her girlfriend, trying to come to the fact that she's been taken in by her deceased girlfriend's mum and dad. So she finally feels part of something. And to have that taken away, I think now is the time we're going to see, especially in that last panel. That last panel for me was quite telling. It was like, this isn't going to go down how this guy thinks it is. Something's going to happen. And also with Templeton throwing away his umbrella, that's kind of his comfort blanket. In every single issue we've seen, he's had the umbrella. And for him to throw that away, even Mark says it, maybe he's not as young as we think he is. He's come all this way. Maybe we need to show him some responsibility now. It's a good comic. It's a very, very good comic.
And now that you mentioned that was his comfort blanket, remember an issue, I think it was 1 or 2, Honeysuckle literally had her blanket. So that, and she sort of discarded that and used it to wrap up her girlfriend. So that's quite an interesting dynamic between the two of those. But I guess there was a lot of deep sort of emotional conversation in this book about the fact that she didn't want to give too much information away about her horror life. And basically in this book, she said that she'd learned to keep a lot about herself a secret, because her experience being is that she opens up too much and tells her about her private life and the fact that she's got a girlfriend, then people would sort of cast her away or be disparaging to her. So I thought that was quite an interesting insight as to her thought process. And obviously in life where people who keep a lot of things wrapped up inside and don't actually talk about them. So it's kind of that mental health side of things.
And this for me was 100% killer. Like, definitely a killer.
Without a doubt. I think it's hard with this one because I'm comparing it against issue number 1 and 2, where it's certainly not as powerful as those first 2 issues. It didn't entertain me as much. But if you take it as a whole, it's definitely a killer for me, and one will be. I enjoyed issue 4.
I enjoyed this better than number 2.
Really? All right.
Yeah. I think it was because of the fact that we got to see a little bit more of her caring side towards Templeton and also her fiery side. Whereas in issue number 2, it was very much like she's dealing with the fact, she's kind of taking everything in. Whereas now she's kind of starting to show her emotions a lot more, and it's gonna come to a head, and it's gonna be interesting. Like, I want to find out why it's raining pins and needles.
Yeah. And I think everybody does, and I think that's going to be the big turning point. It will be really shocking at the end of it, and we've only got 2 issues left, so there's not much room to flesh that out.
It's going to be interesting. So we're starting off the show. We started off the show pretty decently. So that's a massive killer. There we go. Up next. So I'll go next. We've got the Carnage issue number 1, and it is written by Ram V and David Michelinie and Ty Templeton. And the art is by Ty Templeton. I can't see because the slide thing's in the way. It says Ram V, David Michelinie and Ty Templeton, and the art is by Various. So obviously Ram V wrote the main. There's 2 stories in this. I was quite surprised. Wrote the main story. We've got 8 covers. We have the main cover by Kendrick Lim. We've got cover B by Miko Cyan, variant B, which won me the cover of the week last week. We've got the Kai Kaeo Michael.
Whatever.
Yeah, Miko Cyan black and white variant cover. As you can see, it's not as impactful. Do you see what I was saying last week? The black and white isn't as impactful.
Absolutely.
And we got our good friend John Boymaz with the variant B as well. Then we have Brian Hitch variant. We've got a 1 in 100 Lionel Francis U variant cover. The fantastic Stefan Segovia, who has recently just joined Scott's Collectibles, variant A. And we have a Dan Panasian variant as well. I'm going to be honest. This is the first recent Carnage comic I've read, and I wanted more. I wanted more. I know when Ranvi was on the show a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that he's sending, his words were, he's sending Carnage in another direction. Everyone knows how sinister and messed up Carnage is, but the Carnage that he's trying to create is the one that plants the seed, sits back, and watches the shit unfold.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Carnage has opened this comic, 100% I'm involved in this because he's great. I really like Carnage. I think he's a sadistic, dark mofo that has got a horrible telling side to him, and I'm all for this. The story was great. I wanted more. It was all about the character building and like someone's taken on the new mantle of Cletus Cassidy because he's now kind of he's died, and Carnage is now on his own as a symbiote on his own. He doesn't have anyone with him, but we kind of learn that this new sick sadistic scientist who's cutting people up left, right, and center is doing it to get noticed by Carnage, and he does. And it's now, what's going to happen? Is he going to be invited into the hive? Has Carnage got another plan? Is he using this guy to link up something else? I really enjoyed it more than I thought I was. And I think that's based to the fact that one, it's Ranvi, and we know how he writes. He's literally told us that he doesn't even know what he's writing half time. He just picks up from his mud mind pool with stuff and then just goes with it. It's a great story. The main story is really good. I really enjoyed it. The second story, I didn't enjoy so much because it was kind of like chalk and cheese. We've got the main Carnage, the main attraction on pages 1 to 26, and then from page 27 to 32, it's a whole different ball game of Carnage.
Completely different, yeah.
Totally, and it was so juxtaposed because he was like a jokey, juvenile. Oh yeah, I'm like a villain for hire, so yeah, I'll go and do that. And there was bits in it that were like when he smashes the two prisoners together.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, some of this is good, but for me, it wasn't as good as the story before it.
Carnage has never really been a character that I got. For me, he's just like a mass murdering machine that just spills as much blood as he possibly can. And I think, I'll be honest, if it wasn't the fact that Ram V was writing this, then I wouldn't have picked it up. I wouldn't have probably read it. In all honesty. I think the reason for that, Carnage as a character is, I never really understood, what was his dynamic. It was always Cletus Cassidy, and I think what Ram V has done fantastically well in this issue is he's kind of given a deep dive into who actually is Carnage. He's not defined by Cletus Cassidy. He's defined by Carnage, and ultimately, we all thought that it was Cletus Cassidy that was making him bloodthirsty and lust for killing people. But really, in this particular book, it doesn't seem as if that's actually the case. And it almost feels in this first issue that Ram V's done like a psychological breakdown of Carnage. And I think that's what sold me on this issue. I thought it was fantastic and sort of made me buy into Carnage to find out who exactly is he.
Yeah. There is blood. There is gore galore. That's a mouthful. Gore galore. And people that have I know Darren, who's literally just joined in. Welcome, mate. He's obviously just finished the finale of Peacemaker. Now, it's quite ironic that you've just finished that, and then the first panel I've picked is a butterfly leaving a body, because that's quite significant in Peacemaker. But it is gore galore. I think this is like the first or third page of where we're introduced to something that's happened. And it is... For me, though, I've got to say, this was very much like I was into Joker Harley, like criminal sanity. So there's bits in this that tie back to that. Like one of the opening pages of that comic was very much like this. There was a person hanging upside down, and he was positioned as the Vitruvian Man. And it's very much like that. In one of the comics, he's hanging upside down and he's got like a wingspan and he's open and stuff like that. It's graphic. It's very, for a Marvel comic, it's quite graphic. I was quite surprised with how graphic it was, and especially the end scene with the character that they're tearing apart. You can see on the panel on the right hand side. It really goes in depth of how Carnage gets into your body, gets into your blood, gets into your system, and kind of manipulates you to become what he wants you to be. So yeah, I'm fully involved in this. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and it's just spurned me on more to want to read Aquaman Andromeda when that comes out as well. Because
absolutely, I got lots of movie 7 vibes from this.
Yes,
even from the visuals and the general sort of vibe that it was given off. But yeah, we see it a lot of the time, and like Ram V, we've been blessed to have Ram V on the show a couple of times, but he really does know how to set up a character and make even the likes of Carnage a likable character and become invested in Carnage. Now, this is the sort of book that would make me go and check out some of Carnage's other work and see what that's all about. But I think with this book, if you've not read any Carnage before, then you're setting the bar so high with this one. For me, to pardon the pun, this was an absolute killer.
And do you know what? Like, Ram V's slowly ticking off like a wish list. He's doing Venom. He's doing Carnage. Is
he going to tie it in? It'll be really interesting if he ties it in somehow. That would be fantastic.
It'd be very interesting. And then he's obviously got Aquaman Andromeda. I might go and meet him in a couple of weeks because he's at Gosh Comics in London. Him, Al Ewing, they're doing a book signing in Gosh Comics. So I might just pop by and maybe get my Layla Star signed.
Nice.
Who knows? But yeah, the chat is buzzing. We've got the Poptimist has joined us. Mr. Canadian has said he's got the Brian Hitch and the Dan Passanian cover. £1.50 pint. It's a great book. Rain isn't even my favourite story in the collection. I prefer The Loft. I think they are talking back to a previous. This was £1.50 pint. The Rain novella story. Weather by Joe Hill is very good. Also, we have who else have we got? Yep, the Poptimist. Tremendous. Watch 8 episodes done in 3 nights was great fun. Absolutely amazing. Wakazashi, apart from the crap paper quality, I enjoyed a Ram V story in Carnage 1. Good to hear. And the Killer Comic Show. I get confused when I say that now because I've changed the name from Geeky Guy Comics. It's now at Killer Comic Show. So I'm kind of like, is that me? Is that you? Is it who is it? It's all of us. You're all part of the crew. Cheers, Campire. There we go, sir. There we go. So that's another killer. That's another killer. That's 2 killers down. Up next, Slumber.
Good week.
It is a good week. So this was Tom's pick. This was Slumber by Image Comics, and it is written by Tyler Burton Smith and the art by Vanessa Cardini. Now the main cover is by Nathan Fox. Cover B is by Vanessa Cardinali. Cover D is by Becky Clunan, and we have a 3D Comics exclusive by John Brugman. Do you want to take this away? Because I know you said it was going to be interesting when we talk about this.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm going to you go for it, sir. Go on, mate.
I know that a lot of people have been putting up on socials and stuff that they've picked up this book. I don't know whether it's because we were going to feature it in the show, but and I remember obviously I picked it as part of my indie picks as well. So I was again another book that I was really excited for, and it didn't disappoint by any stretch of the imagination. I thought it was a really solid story. Effectively, we've got a horror story, surprise, that is kind of a looking at what they call the dream eater, who invades people's nightmares. So it's kind of like that sort of Monsters Inc. vibe mixed with Nightmare on Elm Street, if you will. And we have the main character, Stetson, who is a dream healer. So Stetson will be paid to go in, step through that door, Monsters Inc. vibe, and go and kill the nightmares that people are having. A really great premise. It feels like, it's been done before, and I think that there's a huge amount of elements in this that has been done before. As I say, you've got the Monsters Inc. vibe, you've got Nightmare on Elm Street. There was total Something is Killing the Children vibes about Stetson. And you'll see here that the couple of pages that were picked kind of a sum up fantastically the sort of art that you were getting with this. I really enjoyed the art. I think it lent itself really well to the sort of dreamscape sequences that we got through at this. So every time that Stetson went into a dream, this was kind of the vibe we were getting on the top left-hand side there. It's like you've got all the monsters chasing this guy in his nightmare, as it were. And I don't know if you agree, Charlie, but I think we both said that it was like I Hate Fairyland vibes about a lot of the artwork.
It was very much like I Hate Fairyland. It was very much like Pretty Violent, which the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club featured on their show last night. I love all that. I'm a massive fan of I Hate Fairyland and Pretty Violent and stuff. So for me, I was like a kid in a candy shop. I was loving this. But there's subtle. I like what the writer's done here, like this subtle. But I mean, this page on the left here, it's very much like Monsters Inc. It's an adult's Monsters Inc. Like instead of getting Sully coming through to give you like scare and get the scares and stuff, you're getting Stetson coming through and ravaging the hell out of your bad dreams. But then on the flip side of that, we've got the detectives that are dealing with a killer that's on the loose, and lo and behold, he becomes part of that situation, as we can see on the right hand side. As the police officer, he's dealt with the person they've arrested in line with the murders, and he's kind of, while he was in custody, he grabbed his head and he's kind of done something to him. He's left some marks on his forehead. We don't know what he's done. He goes home to his wife. He's asleep. We think he's asleep. He kind of wakes up. He's dreaming. Is he there? Is he not? And then the comic ends with him holding a knife. There's a dead body in front of him, and he has no idea where he is. And there's this symbol that we've seen throughout the comic. I've got to say, I thought this was going to be rubbish. I really, really did. Like when Tom brought it up, I was like, Slumber. Looking at the cover, I was like, this is a total knockoff of a cross between I Hate Fairyland, Pretty Violent, Something Is Killing the Children. It's like they've just picked everything out of all the best comics that are going around at the moment. I've got to hold my hands up. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really did enjoy it. I'm invested in it. I bought 2 covers. I'm gonna buy the trade paperback. Wow. I like this crazy batshit, crazy comic type of stuff. And yeah, I thought the writing was great. I thought the artwork was fantastic. The pops of colour, like when you're not expecting it, it goes from like black and white, and then you've got pops of like radiant red, blue, neon yellows and stuff, and you kind of just don't know where to look.
Yeah, the artwork definitely, and the colour work was absolutely bang on. It was in line with the story. I think my only issue with the book is that I don't think I'm invested after issue 1. I don't think Stetson was that great a main character. It felt like we'd seen them before. They're a dream healer, but I just wasn't sure. After reading the book, I didn't know if I liked her or liked them. And the supporting characters that were in this book, we didn't get to know enough about them. It was all about dreams, nightmares, killing, and I'm kind of just got a worry that issue 2 and onwards is just going to be simply Dream Healer versus the Dream Eater. And if that's all we're going to get, I just don't know where this book can go after this issue, because it feels as if we've got everything that we're going to get out of it.
There was essences of Freddy Krueger. I think it's Nightmare on Elm Street, number 3, Dream Catchers or Dream Warriors. Yeah. And there's a scene in that film where he goes into like I think it's either a student halls, and kid wakes up and he pulls his veins out and he walks him off the top of the bridge. There was essences of that, and I think they're very smart with the way they've done it. They've incorporated like horror movies. They've incorporated like the comedy genres from I Hate Fairyland and stuff. We keep referring to that because there's so many similarities there.
It's just a homage. Then it's no original, and that's the thing. This book for me didn't grab the attention like all those different movies that you've mentioned there did. It felt like a bit of a knockoff of all of those mashed together.
I know Fuzzy was a big fan of this.
Yeah, he mentioned
Fuzzy loved this. As I said, I'm invested. I'm looking forward to this. I can just picture myself now buying the trade paperback.
Are you going to pick issue 2?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
100%. I enjoyed this. It's a killer for me. What about you?
I'm going to say that this is binner for me. Sorry, guys. I'm going to say this is a binner. I unless one of you guys pick it to review, I wouldn't probably go and seek out issue number 2.
Well, I'm purposely going to pick it now. So.
I know you will.
So you can watch it. So before we move on to the next section of the show, let's just check how the votes are going. And it's pretty close. I thought it might be because Lee Bermejo is an absolute legend with what he does. We've got a sexy Harley Quinn going on at 47%. 47%. We've got Batman at 41% and we've got Venom at 11%. So, yeah. It's going to be close. I love it. It is good. It is enjoyable. It's very competitive, but it's enjoyable as well because
it's a bit of fun, and I like the way that the chat gets an opportunity to jump in and give their thoughts and stuff like that. I just don't like it when you win, Charlie.
Anyway, on that note. Yeah. Why have I just done the Killer Covers intro? I've messed up. Oh, I'm not having a good one today.
Oh, Charlie, you had one job. Look, guys, can we take 3 votes away from Charlie for this?
Right, let me rectify that. It's because we were talking about the covers. I thought I'd let everyone know that we're still doing the Killer Covers section and to vote for me. But anyway, yes, this is the Killer Keys. Tom isn't here this week, so me and Andy are going to mumble through it. It's March 29th and the 30th. So these are the Killer Covers, Killer Keys that Tom has chosen to come out next week. Up first, I don't think this comic needs any introduction, but I'm going to give one anyway. It's Batman Beyond the White Knight, issue number 1, written and art by the fantastic Sean Murphy. Now, this takes place 10 years after the last White Knight book. I don't really know what else to say about this. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's basically a new Batman has emerged in the city, and only Bruce is fully aware of the dangers to come. It's time to destroy the mantle for good, but he'll need one of his forgotten sons' help to do so. Either Jason Todd or the first Robin. Either Jason Todd, the first Robin. And I'm all for this.
Here, listen, it doesn't matter if there's any new characters, if there's any first appearances. Right. The reason that this is the Killer Key, and if there was a gold badge for Killer Keys, I would be giving it one. This is some of the best modern Batman storytelling that you'll get. The Murphy verse, as it's called, is absolutely superb. And I would highly recommend you go and read the other volumes of this. It is fantastic. And I think even the likes of James would like this. And we know how much James Comic Deal loves his Batman.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely, I think, the amount of people that I've spoken to that have had this on pre-order since Sean Murphy dropped a little subtle, he dropped a post on his Instagram, and he's been doing quite well. He's been dropping images and stuff. Even Cal Enger's been dropping some images that he's been doing on this, and it's great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you get the from an artwork perspective? Do you get the vibes of the book that we read last week?
Yeah, King of Spies.
King of Spies. It's got that vibe. Yeah,
it has very much so. Very, very much so. And the funny thing is, this isn't even the same artist. This is Sean Murphy, but I think
Sean Murphy. Yeah, the artwork's very similar.
Where Matteo Scalera has worked so closely with Katana Collins, and he's a friend of Katana Collins and Sean Murphy, so there's got to be things there that they kind of align themselves with and stuff. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. Nice. So yeah, that's Batman Beyond the White Knight, issue number 1. Now we have DC vs. Vampires, issue number 6. I've been reading this. I'm up to issue number 4, and this is surprisingly one of DC's best-selling comics.
Wow.
Yes. It basically does what it says on the tin. It's DC superheroes versus vampires.
And fairness, saying DC's best selling doesn't gauge. It's not a massive gauge, really, is it? It could be they've sold 5.
And it's not really. And the premise of this one is Batman gets the upper hand on the vampires who have infiltrated the Justice League. But the Vampire King finally reveals himself, and it will be the most jaw-dropping moment of 2022. The shocking best-selling series reaches its blood-drenched halfway point.
James
There has
Tynion.
been, yeah, there has been some quite shock moments in this where, like, I mean, like issue number 1, I think they took over the Justice League and Aquaman was done straight away.
I've been picking up the Matina covers for
Francesco
this. I
Manna,
think
yeah,
they're
love Mantina.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are reading this, continue to pick it up because there is quite a few shock moments in this and cliffhangers. Issue number 6, halfway point. And then last but not least, we have Shadow War Alpha. It's not Demon Days Blood Feud issue number 1. It's either I've made a mistake or Tom's made a mistake. But Tom's not here. He's on a stag do. He's probably really drunk by now. So I'm going to blame Tom. It's written by Joshua Williamson, art by Victor Bogdanovich, and cover art by a friend of the show, John Boyett Mayers. I don't know much about this comic apart from the fact that when Deathstroke assassinates Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul demands revenge and sends her League of Shadows to kill Deathstroke and Deathstroke Inc. Batman and Robin must team up, track down Deathstroke and bring him to justice. But do they? Expect over-the-top fights, action, mystery and betrayal as the crossover event of the year creates a major impact on the DCU. Major crossover of the year? Really? Come on, let's be honest.
I'm getting pure J. Scott Campbell vibes from Talia there. I think whenever we had John Boy Myers on, he said that J. Scott Campbell was a big fan of his as well.
Yeah.
So this cover is stunning. I mean, this would be for me an absolute cover buy. If we could, I don't know if this is in a Virgin variant as well to take some of those graphics off and just enjoy the artwork. So
yeah. I mean, it's interesting because when we was doing the Carnage cover, there was a John Boy Myers cover there, and that was the variant B, and there was a variant A as well that just had the Carnage sign on it. But he also done a third cover that I was speaking to him about, and it was with Carnage's tongue coming out and wrapping round. I think it was like round a lamppost or something. They didn't go with that. They was like, no, we don't need it with the tongue in that. So he's always doing more than needed. It's just whether they decide to go with it. So
yeah.
I mean, this is just a fantastic cover. If anyone check out John Boy Myers' website, he's always dropping gems of posts and stuff of all the comic covers that he's got coming up and stuff.
It feels like we need another John Boy Myers session again because
I think we just get him on. Why not?
I feel like the last few times that we've had him on, once you speak to him and you hear what he has to say, you feel so empowered after it. You feel as if you run a marathon. I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe not run a marathon, maybe watch someone run a marathon.
Like a slow walk, like a slow shuffle.
Come on. But yeah, the Poptimist, great cover. Don't like the title though. Maybe they're just running out of stuff to call DC Comics.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, so that is the killer keys of the week. I am going to get the right intro now. This is my favourite part of the show because I get to sit back and just watch you do your thing.
I take control of the slides, which is always a dangerous moment. Yes, this is Killer Indies. This is for next week's releases, March the 30th. And first up, we have Zombies versus Robots Classics issue number 1. This is written by Chris Ryle and the artwork is by Ashley Wood. That cover, I think I love that artwork. It gave me pure Bill Sienkiewicz vibes for this. So that was one of the main reasons why I picked this up. It was the cover just caught my eye. I think there's a couple of covers for this. And I believe this is almost like a retelling this story. So the original Versus title was back to reclaim its turf and introduce itself to a new world. Eisner Award nominated duo Chris Ryle and Ashley Wood take control of Zombies versus Robots and kick off the excitement with a lineup of classic adventures, all packed to the gills with action. Each issue will present an iconic tale, and in this debut issue, readers will be treated to a 26-page Which Came First origin story. Each issue will also confirm new covers, or will feature new covers, a new illustrated intro and outro, and an all-new story too. And it says, join us for the first time all over again. I think this sounds interesting. I think if the artwork's to go on alone, I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. And it's zombies and robots, come on.
What more can you ask for? It's very Stray Toasters. Not Stray Dogs, Stray Toasters. Yeah.
Stray Toasters.
Again,
exactly.
This is a comic. If you hadn't picked this, I wouldn't have known about it. I wouldn't have looked at it and thought this is what I'm going to go. But I trust your judgment, so I always go with what you've got there. So I'm looking forward to this.
Listen, lots don't. So yeah, that's Zombies versus Robots Classics issue number 1. Next up, we have Cities of Magic issue number 1. Again, it was the cover that caught my eye, which led me to reading the synopsis about this, and it sounded great as far as I'm concerned. So this is from Scout Comics. It's written by Jacob Free, and the art is by Will Tempest. And once upon a time in old York, this is the age of magic, the age of city-states and magic gangs, and the post-apocalypse. So not post-apocalypse, post-apocalypse. Our hero, a cowboy named Lev, strolls into old York City looking for something no one has ever seen before. He's picked a bad time. The force of hyper-priestess Isamar Rothschild, the queen of the Chicago conglomerate, have attacked old York. The only person who stands in Isamar's way is Gregor Steiner, leader of the Red Double X's, the Magic's gang that protects the city from foreign invaders. Lev didn't come looking for a fight, but that doesn't mean he's prepared for one. Caught in the midst of a decade-old war between two powerful gangs, Lev has to figure out where his loyalties lie, if he has any to speak of, and he has to do it all quick like.
I'm getting Gulliver's Travels vibe with the way that they've tied up.
Yeah.
Really.
I think this is one of these indie books where I don't know if I've been given far too much information. I don't need to read the book. I've read the synopsis and that's it. So I'm kind of banking on that the artwork will sell this book. I'm definitely going to pick up issue number 1, give it a read and see what it's like.
ABZ has said Stray Toasters is a prestige format book series by Bill Sindrick, which came out around the time Sienkiewicz, whatever. I'm South East London, mate.
In it.
The time as Meltdown, Havoc, and Wolverine. It's got completely bonkers art in it. 1 to 4 issue mini. And there's me being so naive thinking that he was doing Stray Dogs, #Stray Toasters. But yeah,
no, Stray Toasters is a fantastic run. I tried to collect Bill Sienkiewicz covers, and you should definitely go check them out. 100%.
Cool.
Next. We have Old Faithful. We have Something Is Killing the Children, issue number 21. Obviously, we all know this is written by James Tynion, and Werther Dell'Edera does the artwork. It's back. This is the brand new story arc, and the synopsis is short and sweet in this one. So, discover a brand new story arc as Erica leaves Archer's Peak and her past behind to hunt down a new monster, even as she herself is being hunted. My question is with this book, guys, apart from the fantastic covers, specifically the Jenny Frison ones, is there anywhere where else can this book go?
That's it. That's the thing. That is the thing. And I think with the House of Slaughter, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. It's kind of like we've got the Erica Slaughter story in Something Is Killing the Children. We know about her. We know about her backstory. We know where she's come from and stuff. We've got the House of Slaughter. It's where else can it go? Where is this going to end? Is it going to end at 30? Is it going to end at 25? It's interesting. Obviously, it's still a massive book. It's still a massive book in the portfolio of Boom Studios, and it's still going to get the sales. It's still going to get the readers. It's still going to get people invested in it. But it is kind of like, where is it going now?
It'll be interesting. No doubt people will pick it up, and there's lots and lots of different covers. All the store variants have picked up on this one just because it's a new story arc. It's inevitable we'll probably get at least one new character in this as well, so it'll become another key. So
Sean has said having her destroy the House of Slaughter.
There we go.
Well, this is it. Do you think there's a crossover happening? Do you think that could happen? Because there's two books out at the moment. Something's Killing the Children, House of Slaughter. Do you think it's going to cross over?
Yeah, I think they'll definitely tie it in some form or fashion. But yeah, I'm sure everybody will be picking it up and giving it a read. Last up, we have one of our favourites, Charlie. We've got Newburn issue number 5, written by the fantastic Chip Zdarsky.
I'll crack another beer to that one.
There we go. Yeah, salute. And the art is by Casey Gilly. We've reviewed at least 2 or 3 of these issues, and they've all been absolutely fantastic. I love the cover on this one. It's very Chip Zdarsky. It feels like a homage to one of the Daredevil covers where he was in prison and you just seen the prison bars in front of his face. The synopsis reads, Newburn finds himself in his most dangerous position yet, in prison, surrounded by the men he helped put there. And then there's also a new backup story that begins called Spookorama by Gilly and Lee. Again, I think there's no doubt Charlie will be picking this one up. We're big fans of Newburn.
I'm massive. I think I said this again when we was reading King of Spies. This and King of Spies to me have kind of changed the whole gangster noir essence of comic book reading. These two coming out at the same time, both by Image Comics. It's wicked, and it is a striking cover, and it is very Daredevil. But the way they've done it, this is a wicked cover, wicked comic, and I can't see how. The only thing I'm hating at the moment is the Image 30 logo. It's everywhere. That's the only thing. That is the only thing, but it's still a great cover. Still a great comic.
Yeah, 100%. And that is my 4 indie picks for next week. And again, as ever, guys, if you want to come and follow me on Instagram, you can find me at perpetual.comics. And I do the odd tweet on the old Twitterverse on Perpetual Comics. I don't even know if this QR code thingamabob works. So, just link in the description and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's indie picks.
What you do, if you do that, scan it, it takes you to a bank, and you have to put in your bank details, and then you get to go to Instagram. So make sure you do that.
It actually automatically makes you vote for my killer cover.
It does. It automatically does it. There we go. No. Right. So that's that. So now we've got the killer trades for March 23rd. I've done it again.
That's another vote minus vote.
That's another vote done. So these are the killer trades for next week. Excuse the slides. I had a very bit. There's no excuse. I was just shit this week. Okay, so Andy.
Listen, guys, this was my top trade pick. This is Serial by Terry Moore. I think we reviewed issue number 1 of this. Thought the artwork was absolutely fantastic. So this is the omnibus hardcover edition. It's 207 pages, coming in at a hefty $41.99. But in fairness, this is released by Abstract Studio, which is actually Terry Moore's own studio. So you're going to pay a little bit of a premium, and the fact that it's hardcover as well. I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of these printed. It's written and the artwork is by Terry Moore, and it collects the issues 1 to 10, which is the full run of this book. I love it. If you like Rachel Rising, this is obviously where the character is derived from. The book Rachel Rising. Definitely pick it up. It's a great story, great artwork. And I've got all 10 issues. Charlie, did you keep on it or did you drop it?
No, I got up to like issue 3, and it's going to be good because this whole book, I can only assume, is all in black and white.
Yeah,
like the comics were. The one thing that's really grinding my gears about this cover is the fact that this is very much like issue number 1 of Basket Full of Heads. It's exactly the same yellow Mac. Instead of her holding a machete like she's doing there, she's holding a basket full of heads.
So I believe, and the chat will probably correct me here, but I believe that Basket Full of Heads, that was a homage to Rachel Rising. So right, Rachel Rising is the original. And then obviously there's this book, but yeah, it's definitely like for like. I'd love if they'd done like a foil of this, and the jacket and the boots were yellow foil.
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, that's to be fair, 207 pages of a hardcover. What is that? 36 pounds?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's not that bad. I mean, you've got like the hardcover of Joker War, which is 162 pages. And that's coming in at $39.99. So when you kind of look in that context, for issues 1 to 10, the Joker War was only, I think it was 90 to 95 or 95 to 100. It was only 5 issues. You're getting 10 issues here. And the artwork is very good on this. The artwork is very, very good. The narrative is very, very good. Even though it's black and white, you're still getting your money's worth.
No doubt, but, I'm Scottish, so...
Of course. But yeah, I might actually. This is the thing I like about doing the killer trades, is because I'd probably pick this up and read it again in trade format, because
especially having read the first 3 issues, it gives you an incentive to dive into the rest. So,
and it is quite a deep, like, thinking comic.
Oh yeah,
it is great.
You're not prepared.
No. Then we have, I had to go for this, Gun Honey Volume 1, trade paperback, 224 pages, $39.99 by Titan Comics, written by Charles Arday, art by Ang Ho Huang, available in shops March 30th. Now, this is obviously the whole premise of this. This is all I'm going to say about this. The weapon you need, where you need it, when you need it, shall get it.
First issue, this was fantastic. The cover is amazing, Adam Hughes cover, and it was also in a foil variant through Forbidden Planet. Oh, absolutely.
Did you continue reading this?
I think I'd done issue number 2. I think what I realised that this was a pure cover buy, an absolute cover buy for me. And yeah, absolutely. And the Bill Sienkiewicz covers that they done for this as well was superb. But yeah, no, I didn't keep on it. But again, 224 pages. Pick up the trade paperback, and
I loved it. I read it. I read it. Really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, I kind of agree with what Ed Brubaker said on there. The finest kind of pulp noir. There we go. Yeah, he tried to do that and then he got killed. So there we go. That's why I ended up there. But pick this up. It was great. It was something kind of different for Titan Comics. I think people kind of associate, Titan Comics, Doctor Who, and the stuff. But they do stuff like this, and this is great. This came out I think it came out about a year ago, 2020.
Everybody was talking about it as well when the first issue came out, and it wasn't just because of this cover. No. Everybody was saying this was going to be the next big book, and it kind of just didn't materialize like that. But it's still a decent read. It's
still a great. And we also had Good Luck by Boom Studios. This is a trade paperback, 144 pages, $17.99. So you're not even breaking the bank. What's that? That's in London. That's a coffee and a croissant.
Cheap as chips.
It is cheap as chips. It's written by Matthew Ehrman, art by Stefano Simoni, and basically, this is probably I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is one of the best books Boom Studios ever put out. This is great. It really is great. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though I switched off on issue number 3. I enjoyed it with issues 1, 2, and 3, and it was kind of something that I forgot to get back into because it was great. I really, really enjoyed the story, but I think again I'm going to read it in trade paperback because another comic came out, took my fancy, got really invested in that. And that's the thing when you read the single issues, because they're coming out every week, you kind of lose your trail of thought. And that's the good thing about this show, because sometimes you think, I haven't read that comic for 3 weeks, I'm going to get back into it because we're reading it for the show. So it's good. I like it.
I don't think I picked any of these up. I don't even think we reviewed any of these in the show.
No, we didn't. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was only 3 this week. I only managed to pick 3 this week because we had something a little different that we was going to do this week. And I think, are you okay with that? Are you okay if we do something different?
Oh, listen, I'm all about doing things different. Let's do it.
Well, I'm going to bring it. I'm begrudgingly going to bring this other person on because 2 weeks ago, Arsenal played Liverpool. I can see him now. He's back there. He's sticking his middle finger. Arsenal played Liverpool. And,
that wasn't his finger.
That wasn't his finger, was it? Was that the slipper digit he's going to bring up? Without further ado, it's everyone's favourite Panels in a Half Pint superhero. How you doing, Sean?
Evening, folks. All right, all good.
How you doing, mate? We've had you sitting back there since 7 o'clock tonight, so thanks for staying with us.
No, you're grand. Don't worry. So it's all good. All good.
Why are you here?
Yeah, what you doing? How did you get the link? Get out of here.
So no, it's basically I'm actually really looking forward to this. To be honest with you,
yeah.
These came back a lot quicker than I expected.
Well, quick. So
yeah, let's should we rewind and give everybody a bit of context?
So in the context, so 8 weeks ago now.
Yeah, 8 weeks.
We all submitted. It was you guys have submitted to CGC before. It was my first submission to CGC, and I was kind of dreading I'm not going to lie, I was dreading the process. I was like, how's it going to go? You hear about people getting cracked slabs, you hear about people taking 6 or 7 months, and I'd had some pretty bad experiences going through like a place in space and it taking nearly a year and a half. Andy, I know that you're going through something similar at the moment. We won't go into that, but
no.
I've got to say, and here we go, look.
It's a Panels and Pints takeover. What's going on?
It's a Panels and Pints. How are you doing, James?
I'm doing all right.
I was
Say it
literally
like-
to be here.
Make us believe it. Make us believe it, James.
I was literally just saying that we're here
Miserable.
for a bit of CGC action, but it was my first submission to CGC, and I'd heard like horror stories about waiting nearly a year, 6 months and stuff. But I submitted 5 comics, and they came back within 8 weeks. I picked them up last week. They've been sitting in this box here all bloody week. I've been waiting to get my hands on them, and I think Andy and Sean, you submitted some as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Sean done 5, I done 7, and I've got 1 for you as well. And yeah, it was a really quick turnaround, 8 weeks for it to come back. And I'm just going to put a little bit of a caveat here. The box arrived a couple of days ago, and it's well traveled. The box is well traveled. I haven't opened it yet, and we're all about the content here, guys, and and there may be some tears and some smashed CGCs, which I'm no James. This is the only reason James is on. It's just to see some smashed CGCs.
It's just feeding off the misery.
Absolutely. So
I like
be
to collect
prepared.
this. What I call them the CGC tiers. So if it's not a 9.8, I like to collect them
He
tiers,
just sits there.
and then I sell them on the dark web. So it's brilliant.
So I've just got to put this. Like watching Crime Watch again. It is. That used to be my favourite show on a Wednesday on BBC One.
The screen's got very bold, hasn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
My favourite.
Wherever we go.
Tribute. Beautiful specimens. There we go. But yes.
Hold on.
So how are we going to do this, Andy? Because obviously you've got 1 for me.
Yeah.
You've got a few for Sean. So do you want to start? Because I'm really interested to see your box. Or,
I need to open up this box, so I think you should start.
Right, so-
Charlie, if you're happy enough to do that.
So I opened my box earlier, and Andy, if you want to show what you normally cover your comics with when you do a CGC unboxing.
Matron.
Right. So you've got that. So I didn't have time. So I'm new to all this. I'm new to all this CGC stuff. So I just literally got a bit of cardboard. Right. So I'm gonna reach in and I'm gonna
Make yourself big. How do I make you big?
just give me a little rub. Give me a little rub.
Is it?
Right.
Is it
Okay.
this one?
There we
Make
go.
yourself
So,
big as you reach into the box. Come on.
so I think it's covered. Right. So this
And
is.
tell us a story. Tell us a story here.
So this is the first comic that I kind of got me into comics. My dad gave it to me when I was born. So this is from 1985. This is Iron Man 200, and this is the first appearance of Jebediah Stane in the Ironmonger outfit. This for me isn't about the grade. This is the fact that this is one of the comics I just wanted to keep pristine and just as a memory, as a keepsake from my dad. So I'm not even concerned what the grade is, but it's.
This is like an X Factor sub story going on here too. I like it. Gotta get them in too.
Vote for me, but I mean, it's not. It's in a good condition. It is in a good condition. It's had a bit of wear and tear on it. I mean, it is from 1985, so as any.
So it's needless to say, this is for the personal collection. This is going nowhere.
Yes,
this has got a lot of memory. A lot, yeah.
This
all that good stuff.
this is going nowhere. So having looked at this, what are the grades that we're thinking?
I would say take it out the sheath first and foremost.
Oh, hold on.
Debag it and
Take it out
let
the
us see it in its full glory.
Okay, there you go.
Oh yeah.
I would go in
Nice.
9.2 on that.
I
Oh,
mean,
hang
that's,
on. That bottom right hand side.
Yeah, this
It's a curve.
yeah, it's not like honestly, it's not
Not
in
too
the
bad,
best.
Yeah.
There's a slight bend
It's been well loved.
there.
Charles.
Some love. Yeah.
as
Oh,
well.
Yeah,
cool.
I think based on the age, you'd probably say 8.8.
Yeah.
8.8.
Yeah. Actually, yes. It's just in the yellow.
8.6,
Let's see the back,
8.8.
Charlie. Let's see the back.
See the back? I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's got white pages. I mean, there's kind of like a pretty significant bend, like there.
Okay.
There's a few spine ticks and stuff. So I'm not expecting
I'll go for a
7.5,
solid
yeah.
7. Solid 7.
7.5. 7.5.
Yep.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Really?
I'm ready for these tears. Oh,
4.5. Do you know what? Like that's not too bad, to be fair. Like I've got the comic here, and it is in quite. It's not in the best condition. Like, but I don't even know what like a 4.5 is. What is that? Is that like a
Fine.
Is it fine? Very fine.
Fine.
But I'm happy.
Yeah.
To be fair, you don't really care about the grade anyway. It's more about
I'm
the
over the moon with that. Like, I've got this comic that was from my dad, and it's going to be like, that's it now. Like, my kids
Yeah.
can't get a hold of it. They can't ruin it and stuff like that. So,
You can never read it again. It's great.
like, I'm over the moon with that. I only ever read it once to know that I'm over the moon with that. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm
Nice.
happy with that.
Congrats. Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
enjoy.
Have you got your box?
I've opened the box. Okay.
Let's go. Right. Let me make you big. Hold on.
And they sent me some paperwork.
But what I'm interested in doing it, apparently, like now you can get the grader notes for free. Is that correct? You can get the grader notes for free.
So we yes, they do. I think if it's anything less than a 9.8, then they normally do graders notes. So
Right. Okay.
I'm not even going to check to see if these are in good condition. I'm just going to.
And you don't know what one you're putting out yet, do you? So it could be mine, it could be Andy's, it could be Sean's.
So this is one of mine, and this is I actually bought this from. This was the first comic that I bought from Tom when he opened up the shop. And this is Department of Truth issue number 1, and this was limited to 500 copies. It's the Megan Hutchison cover. The slab's not cracked, so that's one thing, which is a Brucey bonus. I've no idea what this is going to be. I would say I know that Tom got his graded and hadn't touched it, and it was a 9.6. So I guess I would be looking to try and match at least a 9.6.
Is that a foil cover?
No,
It's not.
no, it's just
And what's the back? I'm going to go for 9.8, mate.
9.8.
Yeah.
0.6.
Will I go? Will I go?
Oh,
Yeah, 9.8. Not cool.
I say
I
9.8.
want it to be a 9.8.
9.8. Come on.
9.6.
That's not bad. That's good though. That is
9.6.
good.
So same as what Tom got. So it'll be interesting to see if the stack that he got had the same graders notes on it. But no, 9.6 for 500 release, Megan Hutchison, and I'm happy with that. Next one.
Andy, is that your first non 9.8 CCG
No.
reveal?
No. Is it my first 9.8 that I've sent? Because I've had like more. I've had a few that I went through Scott's Collectibles that was non 9.8.
Yeah, I think from the ones that we've done, and I think it might.
I wasn't disappointed, but I am now. Thanks, James.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. That's what I do.
That's
I bring it down.
Right, Charlie.
Gets the tears going.
I just want to say, so the thing is, I literally, I think I've learned from you, Andy. I've learned the love of spreadsheets. So kind of when I was sending it off, I put together an elaborate spreadsheet thing of what I thought the grade was going to be and what it was going to come back. I put down, having looked at the comic and hadn't looked, I put down a 4.5 and it's come back as a 4.5. So I'm kind of happy with that. My predicted grade has come back. Yeah. If it had come back higher, then obviously it was great. But so hold on. So they're all in the bags. So hold on, I just need to make sure.
This is what Charlie pulls up a rabbit.
Right. So this. This I predicted as a 9.8. Like, I couldn't see no faults on it. This was from Coffee and Heroes. This is the foil variant of Radio Apocalypse issue number 1. Now looking at it, I can't see anything wrong with it. Like, I really can't. Like looking at the back, there's nothing there. Like I can't see why this wouldn't come back as a 9.8. Like for me,
reason why mine's come back as a 9.6, I guess.
But the thing, this is a foil cover, so and this was never touched. Like when I was like taking pictures of it and putting it away, I was wearing like plastic gloves, not plastic gloves, the felt thingy gloves, you know, like the thingy gloves, whatever they're called. woolly gloves, yeah, right.
Like a snooker referee.
Yeah. So I'm expecting a 9.8 for this all day long.
Okay,
Guys,
I'm going to agree.
It looks lovely. It actually looks like a really nice.
I'm hoping to get a 9.9 because one of my books that were about to unbox is that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go for it, Charlie.
Right, so, ready? Oh, a 9.6.
Is this not the point where like you throw that in the ground in absolute disgust and say you're going to crack it and resubmit it?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. and then vowed to quit YouTube forever.
If it had come back as a 9.4, I'd be fuming. I'd be like, come on, like what the hell? But it's going to be. I'm going to see if there's any grading notes on it because I can't. Obviously, I've got the untrained eye. I'm looking at it, but I can't see anything. There's no like dings or anything on it. It looks. There's no spine.
Boys traditionally do tend to come back quite high.
Yeah. There's cheers, Sean.
No, it's not. That doesn't bode well for my one, mate. Because don't forget, as I said,
I think most people have come back about 10 on that one. I don't know what you've done, right?
But like a 9, it's a good cover. Like I'm like a 9.6. That's good. Like it's not too bad. Yeah, whatever.
James is loving it.
Right, so bonus is that the slab is not cracked. There is no apparent like piece of plastic or anything in it, so that's great. So this is Darth Maul issue number 2, and this is the first appearance of Cad Bane. This is one of my books. This has sat in a box since it's been purchased and read. So this could be really any grade, but I'm going to hope and say that this is a 9.4. 9.4-ish. It looks in well, I'm saying that. Then I look at the back. It's always the case, isn't it? You look at the back and go, oh Jesus. Okay, maybe a 9.4, 9.6 on this one. Tough book.
I'll go. What do the corners look like?
Chris?
Yeah, I'll go 9.6.
9.6.
After what I've just got, and like mine looks perfect.
Once again, 9.6.
I'm gonna go 9.6. I'm gonna 9.6.
Yeah, 9.4. 9.4 from me.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
He's back at it. The 9.8 king.
Listen, I'm back, boys and girls.
We thought Abiza thought he was going to get a 9.4. Andy, you know, an hour and 16 minutes ago, Connie was getting on a flight. She's just landed and she's back on.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Whenever I'm travelling from here over to Glasgow, it takes 25 minutes.
That is commitment, isn't it? Get in. That is a good one. Right. Are you going again, or do you want me to go?
I can go again.
Go on. You go again. I'm still sitting there fuming. So go on. You crack on.
Has the Cad Bane spec market sort of dwindled out yet? Or is that? After,
well, the fact is that he's
spoiler.
not dead. He's not dead. So
I suppose.
Apparently he's going to turn up in Obi-Wan as well. What have we got next? This is my big book.
Is that the first appearance of Dr. Aphra?
Yes.
I'm going to go 9.8 all day with this, man. If you get a 9.8, oh, mate, come on. 9.8.
I personally, I said this to the guys, and funny that a few of the guys on IG were taking the mic and saying, as long as this one is a 9.8, but literally, guys, as long as this one's a 9.8, I don't mind. It pays for the submission. So again, this is kind of a similar to Darth Maul. It sat in a box and has only been read once, so it hasn't really seen much of daylight. But yeah, this is my big book here. This is first Dr. Aphra and first appearance of these two droids as well. And apparently, there's rumors that Dr. Aphra is going to appear in Obi-Wan as well. So,
can you see anything wrong with that? Can you see any faults?
It's just such a notoriously tough book to get high grade in because of the back cover and the dark cover on the front.
I'm going to go over 6.5 then. 9.8 all day, I reckon.
Come on.
Good luck.
Come on,
Good luck.
Everybody.
Yeah, 9.8 for Velvet Fingers. There he is. There he is.
That's it. Andy has left
That's
the building.
me. I'm away. I'm by. Listen, see the votes. I don't care who wins the killer covers anymore. I've got my killer cover here.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not getting enough enjoyment out of this. Charlie's up. It's okay. Charlie's up. We're good to go.
You're a bad man. Bad man.
There's this one. Oh, so let me do some D-bagging. Right, so this is another comic that my dad gave me. This is what is this one? We've got Daredevil 168, the first appearance of Elektra. Again, it's not in the best condition, to be fair. Like it's not as bad as the Iron Man. I can see some few Newton rings on it though.
Oh,
which is a bit annoying. Just see it. Can you just see it above the D?
Sorry, what?
Just
that's your ring light.
just there. There's a slight.
Oh yeah.
If you've got Newton rings above your D, Charlie, you should see it up there.
But yeah, it's pretty similar. Like there's the corners are pretty turned. It's not white pages and stuff, off white. It's not in the baddest condition. Like not in the baddest condition. Like
6.5.
Yeah,
6.5.
6. I'll say.
5.0.
what'd you say, James? 6.5. Andy.
6.5.
Again,
What did
this
you
is
say,
another
Charlie?
one.
What was on your spreadsheet?
I would have gone like this one. I think I went for a 5. I went for a 5 based on the fact that it looked similar to the Iron Man one, and based on what I'd looked at, I thought it was pretty. And it's around the same era. This is 1980, so this is 5 years older.
That's first Electra, of course, isn't it?
First Electra, yeah.
I mean, that's a big book. That's only going up in price regardless. Of the...
And this is just my personal collection. It's another one that my dad gave me in a box with a comic. So the grades are relevant, but let's have a look. That's a 6.
Ooh, 6. That was close.
That's good. That's good. I'm happy with that. The only thing I'm like, I don't know if you can see it, like, yeah, you can't really see it, but there's a Newton. I don't know how to get rid of that. How do you get?
You get one of those little suction cups that you use for like mobile phones and stuff like to take the screen off, and you just pull it.
But I'm happy with that. Like, a 6 is. Yeah, it's off white. Yeah, and it's the UK price variant as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, off white
Congrats.
pages. Boom, have that.
I think it's good to have it like that's it done. It's sealed now, so you're not going to, it's going to be harder to lose a slab than it is a raw book, and the kids won't
That's
get
the
near it and
thing.
stuff like that.
That's the thing. That is nice. Yeah. Sweet. Up next.
Okay,
My one.
this is one of Sean's books, and this was so you got a 9.6 in this, Charlie. So
yes, we know that, mate. No need to go on about it.
so what were you hoping for there, Sean, for this one?
Because it's a 4, I was hoping for 9.8, but after seeing Charlie's, I'm hoping now for 9.6 at least.
Sean, honestly, I didn't. Having looked at it now, I can't see anything wrong with it. And when I was packing it up, I couldn't see anything wrong with it. There was nothing wrong in the pages or anything. So, and the way that
Sean.
What?
No, I'm not joking.
The way that Alan had packed it as well was second to none. So I kind of like, I hope you get a 9.8. I really do hope you get.
This was from Coffee and Heroes, wasn't it, Sean? Yeah.
Yes, we both got it.
So you got it from the same place, so it's from the same batch as well, then.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you hoping for, Sean?
I'm hoping for a 9.8, but after what Charlie got, if it comes in at 9.6, as long as it doesn't come out lower than that.
Okay, I'm looking at like and saying that I think it's a 9.8 all day. I said that when I said it. I don't think you literally touched it before.
It didn't. It didn't even come out of the bag.
No,
It's the
it
same as mine.
Bag on board.
looks crispy. So let's go.
Go on.
9.8.
Get in. I'll buy it off you. I'll swap you over for a 9.6.
Yeah, then.
There we go. Congrats.
I'm really interested to see what the grader notes are.
Yeah.
Like it'd be, I'd be interested in that. Go on, you
I'll
go
do
again.
another
Andy.
one.
Go on.
My heart's going to bigger halfway up.
Oh, this is one of mine.
Is that the J. Scott Campbell Strange
Yeah,
Academy?
this is the Strange Academy issue number 1, J. Scott Campbell variant cover. This also came as a Virgin J. Scott Campbell, but the only difference was it didn't have the Strange Academy.
Yeah.
And I actually think this is nicer.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people get the Virgin variant and then they get
to sign it.
J. Scott Campbell to sign it, which looks pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, this is a book that, from a value perspective, it's only gone up in price. This would be one of the ones that I would consider if they get a movie or a TV show to try and flip. But yeah, another fantastic J. Scott cover. I've read this at least a couple of times, so just to let everybody know, none of these have been pressed or cleaned either, so these have literally just come out of the collection and straight in. So any thoughts on this one?
If you've read it a couple of times, I'll probably say 9.6.
It was said that before you did the same thing with Someone's Killing the Children, and it came back at 9.8, so I'm still going with 9.8 on it.
Black cover as well, like the black edges of the cover.
I think based on the fact that it's been defaced by some horrible art by J. Scott Campbell, it's gonna get like a 4 or something, I would say.
4. Right, let's see. So we've got ABZ that said a 9.6 in the chat there.
Yeah, I'm going to say 9.6 as well. Just to the fact that you've read it a couple of times. Oh, 9, but cheeky fucking jammy fucker.
He's got fingers. He's got fingers of velvet in it. He's got fingers of
Honestly.
velvet. You know that.
I felt them.
That
Yeah.
and it said, "Whoa, what happens in Thought Bubble stays in Thought Bubble." First appearance of Emily Bright, Doyle Darmamu, Shaylee Moonpedal, Calvin Morse, Desi, all the first appearances in this book. So
basically, everybody's new.
It presents fantastically, I think, as well. But despite it, obviously, from James's perspective, being a J. Scott book.
That's a good book, mate. Right. I'll go. Right. I think I've got. How many have I got left? 2. Right, let's have a look. Right.
I'm just so happy that none of these have been cracked. Like, seriously.
Right. So another foil cover.
Oh, he nearly slipped the.
Slip digit. Right. So this is obviously the Many Deaths of Lady Star foil cover. I got high hopes for this now. I haven't got high hopes for this now. Seeing my other foil cover, I mean, again, I can't see anything with this. Right. But I don't trust my own judgment now. I'm looking at it. I would have said a 9.8. Like I would have said this and Radio Apocalypse 9.8 all day long. Would you guys think? Based on 9.8?
Foil cover. Like, you're hoping for 9.8. I'll go for 9.8.
Do foil covers have a tendency to sort of retain fingerprints, though?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, so that could be an issue, couldn't it? But
to be fair, looking at this now, there is a slight little imprint on the back. So I'm probably going to end up with like a 9.4. I guarantee. Right.
9.8, Charlie. 9.8.
Well, if it's anything higher than a 9.4, I'm happy with after seeing this dent on the back. How did I not notice that? Right, let's go. Here we go. Wait, 9.6 is shocking.
He's devastated. Oh no!
It's just. I can't see why.
Except for the big dent on the back you just mentioned, Charlie.
It's not even a dent. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. I don't think you are, because it's kind of like a pen mark that someone's written.
See, with those foils, did you actually take them out back and forth at that point?
They stayed literally, and they've been in top loaders. If they haven't been in the top loaders behind me, they've been in the top loaders behind. But I mean, I got this one off eBay, so
whoever sold it might have.
That's the thing. But it's a 9.6. Like I'm as long as it ain't a 9.4. If it had been a 9.4, I would have been gutted. And based on the fact that there's a slimy little pokey thing on the back, and that one was a 9.6, I thought, oh my luck, the way it's going, it's going to be a 9.4. But it's a 9.6.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? It's like we're all like wanting 9.8 because that's the number that everybody wants to get. But we forget that 9.4 is near mint for a book.
But at the end of the day, these are comics that will stay in my collection. So for me to have them slabbed is a nice keepsake. If I was going to flip that, I'd be like, right, let's crack it open, then we go and get it pressed, and then we send it off again. But there we go. Right.
Yep.
House of Slaughter issue number 1, and this was like the special foil store 1 per store variant, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, this one isn't. This is just the standard foil. You've got the one I gifted you was the 1 per store variant. Slightly, it looks slightly different. This is just standard foil.
Now, from my perspective, looking at it close up, this is spotless. There's absolutely no reason why this should not get a 9.8. I probably jinxed it, but I think that white back cover could be an issue. I don't think it's going to be the foil front because it looks immaculate, but everything looks crisp as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to go for 9.8.
I'll go for a 9.8 as well. Well, it's a foil. Do you know what? I'm going for a 9.6.
Controversial.
9.8 for Sean.
Yeah,
go on, Sean.
Thank you, James. Please.
There you go.
There's something going on here. There's like some fucking contingency going on against the South East London, I'm telling you.
No, that is a really nice. That presents really nice. That purple foil, so it does. So
Yeah, it's really nice.
What I've noticed is that if you go before me, I get a rubbish grade. So go again and let's see if we can change it.
right, what we're going for? Right, hold on. Okay.
There's one of mine I know won't be a 9.8, but it's I'm just hoping for a certain grade.
This one?
It's that one.
Oh, that is a sexy cover, man. I would say a 9.4. It's a black
I'm
cover.
kind of not doing it justice.
That's the thing. I'm hoping for a 9.4, I'll be honest, but I bought this online and it's been handled I don't know how many times by possibly different people. So if it's anything above a 9.2, I'll be happy. But I'm hoping for a 9.4.
That was a Facebook purchase, wasn't it? You bought it from a Facebook group?
Yeah, it was a 2 o'clock in the morning purchase. I actually got it at a reasonable price as well, considering it was only £30. So
I think where it's been handled a few times and it's a black cover. Like if that hasn't been pressed and cleaned, I'd say 9.4. Is it in good condition? Is it in good condition, Andy?
It's excellent condition.
It's in really good condition. I think there was a couple of sort of minor blemishes to the cover, maybe to the corner. I think I noticed in the top left-hand side whenever I was sort of putting it in the getting it sent off. But I sent I took pictures and so did Sean and stuff like that, so we knew that what was happening. But this is the first appearance of Gwenham. Yeah. So I think that this is going to be.
I'm saying 9.2. I'm hoping for a 9.4.
I'm going to go 9.4.
Yeah, I'll say 9.4. I'll say 9.6.
That's good, man. It's a massive crack on the back, though. Is there a crack on the back?
No.
Oh, right. It's just the way it's holding it.
Hey.
I take that all day long. All day long. That would be, even if I bought that straight out of the shop, that would be notoriously difficult to get a 9.8 with being black.
I know that was the one that you were really wanting to get a good grade.
I wanted anything above 9.4 and above. I would have been ecstatic with, so I'm more than happy there.
Okay, I've got the last one. All right.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left.
Right, so I've got.
Buckle in, guys.
Not another comparison.
House of Slaughter issue number 1, foil cover. This is the red foil cover, right? So this is the one. I think this was I took a House of Slaughter thought bubble and got a CBCS, and it come back as a 9.8, and it was signed by James Tinian. This is House of Slaughter red foil cover. Again, I've lost all hope.
That's what I like to see.
It's a foil cover. I can't really see anything wrong with it, as I've said, and I've been wrong 3 times now.
I'm going to go 9.8 based on the fact Sean's was 9.8, and that looks just
I'm
as
going to
good.
go a 9.9.
What?
Whoa, Sean.
Sean, I'm not sending you that PayPal money for you to say that, right? So let's. Oh,
I'm going to go
with a 9.6. Why not? Just a hat trick of 9.6s, really. What are we thinking in the chat here? Look, I'm going with 9.6. See, look, Mr. Knight's Brown. There we go, 9.6, and it is a.
Hey, bam, bam, bam.
1 out of 25 ain't bad, eh? Not too bad. It is flawed, but again, I can't see the difference between this and the other 2 foils that I've done.
It could be something.
But 0.2.
The only thing is that, again, it's got Newton rings all over it. It's got Newton rings all across it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
you see under the B there. Right.
Yes.
It's. How'd you get rid of them? Like, can I just ring them up and say, look, mate, can I have a refund?
Could you de-ring me? No, I don't think that works.
And I'm happy with that. A 9.8 in the foil. I'll take that. It's not too bad. My first submissions ain't too bad.
So this is one of mine. So this is a pretty special book. This is Champions issue number 1, and this is a Mark Brooks incentive cover. I kind of got this graded just because it's a bit of a spec for all the characters that are on this for obvious reasons. It is a cracking cover, if I can show you there. I've had this for too long, at least. I think this was 2017 2018 this came out, and I bought it in the LCS. So I'm going to go 9.4 for this one.
I'm going to say 9.6.
It's Velvet Fingers. It's 9.8. 9.8 all day.
Sean?
9.6.
9.6. What we say in the chat?
9.6, 9.8, 9.4. There we go.
Mr. Canadian said 9.6, then 9.4. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How's he doing it? How much are you paying CGC, mate? How much?
Listen. This isn't a cheap book now.
No.
This is not a cheap book. That's fantastic. Not that I care about the retail value. That's not what it's about, guys.
Yeah.
At all.
It is. It's rigged. It's rigged. 69.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's a good grade.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Andy, we've spoken this week, and you was like, this box looks like it's been banged about a bit. This box looks like it's been.
I was sure that it was going to. Oh, this is another one of mine, guys. So I'm trying to get the first 6 issues of Something That's Killing the Children back at a 9.8.
How many have you got so far?
I've got issue 1 and issue 2. Mm-hmm. I've got the main cover at issue 1. I've got the Jenny Fristen cover at issue 1 and issue number 2 back 9.8. So this is issue number 5. I don't know why I didn't go in order, but this is issue number 5.
That would do my nutting.
Is this the money book, Sean?
It is. That's the first appearance of the Grand. I forget his name, but
yeah,
the
Grand
Grand something or other for House Slaughter. But it's going for like raw about £180.
So this was the one, guys. I don't know if you remember. So way back whenever I had a channel and I actually put some content up, this was the one that I got for £2.80 from Forbidden Planet Belfast.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was sitting in a bunch. I think there was this one. There was 2 issue 2s and 2 issue 3s. And this was the best of the bunch. Well, at least I hope it was the best of the bunch. So I don't have a buy-in for this. This was literally stolen. What we thinking, guys? Bear in mind, I got it from Forbidden Planet.
Bearing in mind you're a pro. Bearing in mind you're a pro. Bearing in mind you wear velvet hands. I'm going to go over 9.8. Why not?
Yeah, go with 9.8.
You know what? I think I'll say 9.6 on this one, just as a hope and a dream.
Fuzzy saying he's making up the preamble to add tension. He's a pro.
It's a 9.8
Do you have a drum roll?
All day long. 9.8. Told you. It's a fix.
Lads, these haven't been pressed and cleaned at all.
Yeah, all right.
See, you know what that means? Pressing and cleaning is a scam. It's pure scam.
Yeah.
Sean, look that up on eBay. See how much that's gone for now. That is crazy.
This is also like you've got some good books there, mate. Well done.
This is.
I've got a couple of 9.6s if you want to buy them.
Listen,
mate, I'm trying to sell a 9.4 Umbrella Academy and nobody's buying it. So
Jenny, that's not Jenny Fristen, is it?
Yeah, it's Jenny Fristen. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So this is the retail. I think this is a retailer exclusive for issue number 6. No, yeah, issue number 6.
That's nice.
And I know this won't be a 9.8. And the reason I know why it will be a 9.8 is because I dropped it before I submitted it.
Oh, your other one is going for about 300.
Nice.
How much? 800.
3.
Oh.
So this has been dropped. Now it dropped. It didn't drop on the corner. It just dropped on its face. So, guys, what do you think?
And did it drop onto one of your velvety pillows? And you have one lying in your
I
house,
caught it in my velvet hands.
Yeah, so it's probably a 10 now. You probably bumped it up by dropping it.
The luck that you're having, I'm going to go 9.8. Why not?
Yeah. No, it's not going to go.
Of course, it's 9.8.
I'll tell you what. Of course, it will. It will.
Well,
the Velveteen Rabbit over there. 9.8.
9.6.
9.8.
9.6. Told you.
9.6. I bet you were screaming when you dropped that, though, weren't you?
Oh, mate. I actually, I was like, should I just not send it in? I went, you know, we'll go for it. But 9.6 or 9.6. That's me broken my 9.8. Well, I guess that's not the main cover. I have the main cover for a 9.6, so it still be on for my full 9.8 one. Okay, I can see this is one of yours, Sean. This is the Alien cover.
Oh, that's a nice cover. Who did that cover?
Delotto.
Mate, that's a great cover.
This is
There's a lot of
9.8
love
all
for that
day.
cover.
Yeah, it's the reason why I've got it. Because I've got quite a few of the variants of this, and by far and away, I think this one's the nicest one.
Yeah, that
I would
looks.
love to have got the Virgin of it, but I just couldn't get the Virgin, unfortunately. So
That looks spotless.
I don't think you need a Virgin in that one, look, because it's minimal, isn't it? That's the trade on
That's
it.
a minimal
So
trade,
minimal, you wouldn't.
yeah, it is. But
It's just
believe it or
it's
not,
that that takes away from it. That's quite eye catching, but that's fine. If that wasn't there, it would be perfect.
yeah, it's exactly that. So the Virgin looks stunning without the Marvel.
Why didn't they just stick that in the back cover? But in fact, they have. You know what I mean?
Ryan Brown did a great cover for this.
I have that one as well.
Nice, fantastic.
You ready?
9.9.
Right, okay.
9.8.
9.8.
Yes.
Well done,
there,
Sean.
Sean's learning from the master.
These late night purchases on Facebook are going well.
They aren't they?
Yeah, not on your bank balance.
No, but not.
And he's lost us.
Can you hear me okay? Am I still there?
I'm still here.
He's coming. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh,
Another one, Sean?
yep.
What do we think of this, Sean? Was this in like good?
Yeah, I've actually I've got this. I read the second printing, so I've kept this in case. So I'm hoping for a 9.8. This is because this is a spec book. Obviously,
There's a little bit of a Newton ring on the back, just FYI, just there.
Yeah, joys.
I just noticed.
But I mean, if it's 9.6 or above, I'll be happy enough with it. It shouldn't be lower than 9.6, but
Let's go 9.8.
You need a 9.8 in this, mate, for it just to make it worthwhile. I reckon it needs to be a 9.8. Let's go 9.8. 9.8.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
nice.
That's a good book. That's good.
But because that's a 9.8, because it's a 9.8, it's got a Newton ring on it. Will that degrade it?
No, it's a 9.8.
Okay.
It's just the process of grading it. Yeah,
it's just science. Newton rings, is it? You can't degrade because of science.
I want that as an intro. It's just science.
It's just science. It's just science. What is?
I think that's all my books now.
Yep, that's it. We've left the last one. Yours. So tell them the story on this one, Charlie.
So I fell in love with this cover as soon as Radio Apocalypse come out. I fell in love with this, and I wanted to buy it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And you, sir, managed to get it for me from America, and you surprised me. I thought I was just paying for one cover, but you sent. I paid for 3, and I was like, really? I didn't realise that it came in a bundle of 3 comics. So I was like, okay, fair enough. So you sent me the other 2, and I said, please keep this. Send it off. Like, send it off.
So we got the 1 in 10. The one. This is the 1 in 25, I think.
It was the 1 in 10, the 1 in 15, and the 1 in 25.
Yeah.
I've
for
been
$20 for $20.
Right. So I've been out of all the comics I've got, other than the ones that I'm keep, like the 4.5 and the 6 Iron Man and Daredevil. I've been so anxious about this coming back because, oh my god, I'm just like literally. This is the one. If this is a 9.8, I will be over the moon. Like Andy, you've had this comic like this hasn't left your possession. You got velvet hands, so oh my god.
And that's the thing. Like, whenever it's someone else's, obviously books and stuff like that, I'm even more cautious with it. Are we ready?
Did you drop this one as well?
Yeah.
A couple of times. 9.8.
9.8.
That's
9.8.
9.8. I'm not having much luck. Go on. Get in, Andy. I'm sending you all my comics for grading next time.
That is a lovely book.
God, I'm over the moon with that. Like that's made that's
fantastic.
I fell in love with that comic straight away. Now this was released in November. I'm over the moon with that. That's wicked.
Nice.
I just don't want you to send it to me now because I don't want it to get damaged. But that was good. I was interested in it. That was well done, guys.
That was emotional. Thanks to everybody in the chat and everybody that's watching for your patience and us running through that. that's I don't know what it was like for you, James, because you didn't have any books. There wasn't a huge amount of excitement there, but you know,
Well, there wasn't enough
box is
tears,
sat there
to be
for-
honest.
You know, the fact that none of them were cracked and there wasn't any plastic kicking about, then that was 9.8 for me, to be honest. But yeah, there's a good stack of books there. Yeah.
And yeah, that was good. That was interesting. And I think this is going to be a regular thing now, because I'm definitely going to be at least sending off 5 every couple of months. I know Sean will.
I'm doing a submission on next Monday. So I'll be sending.
And I think
you
that
a
was
book.
the interesting thing. We kind of submitted at the same time. So if we can kind of look to do that, and it
Yeah,
only
I'll be
took 8
submitting on
weeks.
Monday. Yeah.
Let's be honest, it only took 8 weeks, which is surprising.
Exactly. So I'll be dropping yours off, Sean. I'll be sending yours, Charlie, and then if you've got a book, James, that you want to send, then I can pick up yours as well.
I do.
So while we've got you two still here, we might as well just go over what we've got. So let's see how the vote is going. So we are coming to an end now. It's the vote has ended. It's Venom at 12%, Batman at
42 votes, Charlie. 42
votes.
That's crazy.
Venom is at 12%, Batman is at 43%, and I narrowly won this week with 45% of the vote. So I'm kind of running away with it. So I might. He's gone. See, he's got the ump. He's gone. He's left.
He's taking his 9.8s and he's getting out of here.
He's taken his 9.8s and gone. So yeah, I've won again. So yeah, this is the bit of competition that we like. We like everyone getting involved, but it's the sneak peek for next week. Andy, you kind of chose 2 comics this week, didn't you? So we've got Tom, who's gone with Venom. I've said Leather Protector again, so I'm going to call it the Venom.
What did you have in your mind?
That needs to be a book. That needs to be a book.
The Venom and Leather Protector issue number 1. This is what Tom's chosen. He doesn't know that he's chosen Leather Protector yet, but he's on his stag do, so he might need a bit of Leather Protector. Wherever he is this week. So he's gone with that for next week. I've gone with Rogues issue number 1. And Andy's gone with We Have Demons issue number 1. But not only was he content with one book, no. He chose this because of Jock. And he's also gone with Ghost Cage issue number 1 as well. So next week is looking pretty impressive. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But the show's not over yet. We've got one more slide. Andy, did you want to say something, sir?
No, I was just going to say I might even have more CGCs to show off because my stackery.
Of course, yes.
Is getting delivered in the next few days, so fingers crossed that we have.
I do have to say this page here, this page of the old guy, he reminds me of like Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. I think that whole premise of Ghost Cage is going to end up looking like this whole comic.
It's all black and white, as well. Yeah.
So last week we did Slip a Digit, right? It was something that just came up during the show. We were talking about King of Spies, and I was talking about how Roland King was like cracking on with one of his old acquaintances, and he just thought he'd have a tumble and a fumble, and then he'd slip her a digit. This kind of evolved to like hashtag slip a digit, and it was in the chat, and it was on the after show and like commenting the show. So Tom said, right, there's 3 comics up for grabs. Now whoever wins this has a choice of one of the comics, the lotto. It's either Voices Legacy number 1, Non-Stop Spider-Man issue number 1, or Non-Stop Spider-Man issue number 1, all by the lotto. So no matter what, whoever wins, you will get a choice of one of these comics, and Tom will send it to you. So I've put the names into the Wheel of Misfortune. We've got GP Venom, Fuzzy Dunlop, Ed Vick, Panels in a Half Pint, Brian Bullen, and the Poptimist. I'm now going to share my screen, if I can remember how to do it. There we go, Chrome tab, the Wheel of Misfortune. It should be up on the screen now. Is it up on the screen?
It is.
So we've got 6, so I'll shuffle it 6 times. 1.
What is that advert all about? What have you been searching for, Charlie?
4, 5, 6. There we go. Let me just close that down. Right, so that's
that hashtag Leather Protector that you were looking up there.
There we go. Right, so I've shuffled it 6 times.
You won't be slipping any digits in them, then I'll tell you.
I've shuffled it 6 times. Now let's spin the wheel. How do I spin the wheel? There we go. There we go. So who's going to win?
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
There we go. And it is
GP.
It's GP Venom. So GP Venom, congratulations, mate. If you want to drop myself or Tom a message with your choice of comic that you would like, that's great. That's it. That's another show done. Another show down. Thank you, James, for coming on with your mass of positivity. It's always great to have you on the show. Absolutely
it's
missed
great.
you, mate.
It's great being here.
It's been great. Sean, I'll Sean, I'll give you a call and we can work out the price for that 9.8 Radio Apocalypse. And Andy, you just get what you're given, mate. You're here every week, so you've got no fucking excuse. But,
I'm off to put some listings up on eBay.
But it's a great show. Thanks for coming on. I'm sure we'll have definitely some CGCs going forward. But yeah, another Thursday down. Enjoy your weekend. And yeah, Tom's not here. So Andy, do you want to come? Do you want to say something at the end with? Stay safe, stay sexy, or stay shaven, stay bald. I don't know.
Stay safe. Stay Scottish.
There you go.
Right.
Stay Scottish. See you later.